Yes, sir! Back at it again. Back at it like a crack addict.
That's him.
I need all of that.
Right. The city of players.
Because people don't understand that it's really a mindset shift of knowing it's possible. And that's our main purpose for the podcast, is understanding that you do have outlets. If you want to travel, there are ways to afford to. Like if you got $200 pair of Jordans on, I guarantee you can get out the country. It might not be a 3-week trip, but you can get out the country and get back.
Like you always have this perspective of what you think is going to be like when you get there, and you get there and it's like completely different. The thing that you was looking forward to the most ended up being the most boring. And then you end up meeting somebody on the street, and the highlight of the trip is just following this nigga around his neighborhood. I know I need one.
You scored up 3 times.
We do. Man.
Yeah, right.
Drunk Tourist Podcast in the building. Yes, sir. Back at it again. Drunk Tourist Podcast in the building. It's your boy Yates from Atlanta, aka Wakanda.
And I'm your other host, Jerell Ramos from Portland, Oregon, aka the city of players.
And welcome to Drunk Tourist Podcast. We're gonna kick it off like this, bro. How many countries you been to?
I'd probably say maybe about 15.
Ooh, nice. Out of the
not-
15, which one was your favorite though?
I'm gonna have to say either probably Japan or Spain, but I'm gonna give the edge to Japan for sure.
Why Japan?
It's just clean. You know, I love architecture, so you know they had that. You know, I love fashion, so they got that. You know, I like video games and you know animes and stuff. So it's just you know what I'm saying. It just got all that.
Facts. You go to Tokyo, you gonna come back putting that shit on.
Putting it on, real Japanese.
On.
Yes, for
For
sure.
sure.
And the food A1.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is like a lot of spots, if you don't know how to speak Japanese and you go to like a little local spot and you can't really like tell them what you want, they be having like those wax displays of the food in the front, so you can just
Nigga.
the fish, I want the fish, and they be like,
right. And I know one of the places I've been to, it was almost like a touch screen, like button thing, almost like a vending machine on the wall, and it had the pictures of the food.
Yeah.
And then you like press the button. I mean, you pay and then press the one you want, and then print out like a receipt, and then you go like to like a window kitchen thing and hand them the ticket, and then they bring the food out. So I like that because it's real quick. You could just pop what you want, give it to them, go sit down, and they just bring it out.
And
what about you though? Let me. How many countries you been to?
oh man, I've been to 30, man.
He doubling up on me.
30 in count right
Nigga,
now.
my 15 looking like 1.
nah, man. You know,
I'm gonna get there though.
Nah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
30 ain't even a lie. I've been meeting people 60, 80, 100.
Right. Clubhouse, they be going
What?
crazy on
What?
there. They be having more countries than there is on Earth. I'll be like, dang, y'all making
Sometimes
them
we lying, bro. Dude, like, yeah, I've been to 300.
right. I was like, damn,
countries.
there that many countries in the world?
How old are you? I'm 21. Man, you ain't been to 336. You 21, man.
It's like,
Come
well,
on,
I mean,
man.
you've been in another country every day.
Come on,
It's like,
man.
unless you Michael Jackson going on a non-stop
Come
world tour,
on,
you ain't
man.
been there. So what was your favorite though?
My favorite. Gotta be Bali.
Bali.
You know it gotta be Bali.
Right. I was
Bali.
gonna say, I know, they don't know. But
Bali,
I know.
man. I'm always talking about Bali all day, man. I gotta go back, man. Bali is like, I be telling everybody.
Heaven on earth.
Oh my God, Bali is literally heaven on earth. But you gotta take somebody. You can't go out there.
Right.
You go out there solo. You gonna be crying and shit. That shit.
So
is so
what makes you say that you got to bring somebody? Is it just like it's not really like a go out with your people's type of like your homeboys or you know your
if
girls?
you went with a group, maybe like I'm saying you can't really go solo. Well, I guess you can if you chasing like that experience and finding yourself, because you probably can do that too.
Right.
There. I was just saying it's so romantic because it's like, man, it's just so beautiful, and you know your money goes so far. There's so much you could do with a partner, whether it's couples massages, you know, having a private chef. Like we had.
Chef, that sounds too bomb.
Man, but it's only like $20.
Man, I'll go crazy over that.
Man, it's like every day waking up.
Right now, I would really wake up to a massage and,
Every day.
and somebody cooking breakfast.
Man,
or
listen,
something.
you can't beat waking up to a fresh breakfast and a 2-hour massage, and it costs you like $35, $40 American.
Man, y'all hearing that, man? In America, it's like $120 for a massage.
Man, what?
And they gonna run through it.
on,
They
man.
might not even give you the real deal.
What? They got hookah spots out there and everything. Like, whatever you want, you can find it. Like, I had a driver, pretty much, we went for about a week and a half. I don't even remember how long, probably at least a week. It might have been about 8.
Gotta go for at least a week if you have
Oh, for sure, because it's gonna take you 2 days to get over there. So you want at least a week there to enjoy it before you like, bro, this trip back about to be you know. But we had a driver scheduled for the whole week. But after like, he was planning out the day, so every day we doing like 9-10 different events. So it was like wake up in the morning, you know, eat, get the massage. Then he'd be like, all right, we're going to this temple, we're going to this temple, going shopping, going this, you know. But after like the first 3 days, we was doing so much. We was like, bro, like, we getting back to the crib so tired, like we crashing out. So like the 4th day, I was like, man, we're gonna take like a little break for 2 days. So I was like, I want to rent one of these mopeds because you see everybody on moped.
Right.
Man, I rented a moped for the rest of the week for like $2 a day.
Damn.
Brand new moped, and I had never rode.
I was like the
moped.
traffic riding around there is pretty
Crazy, bro. They do not slow down.
Because I be seeing the videos in India and China and stuff.
That's how they
People
be
just
driving.
be like dodging in between and stuff.
What's crazy, I had never rode on a moped before, right?
Yeah, I ain't have either.
But my girl with me, so you know,
I gotta show out.
I'm OD confident, like, I've been riding these.
And sorry, he over here.
Man, she hopped on the back. Well, I jumped right on the road. She was like, "You good?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been doing it." Man, I ain't know how to brake or nothing. Like,
so what is like a throttle like up here or is it foot like?
It was. They got the fast joints out there because everybody ride them. So I think ours went up to like 40 or something, which is super fast.
Nah, that's quick
for a
though.
moped, that's fast.
Yeah.
And everybody like,
yeah.
if you going slow, like I first started out going a little slow. Trucks, everything to the point where like you gotta go fast just so
you don't
it's
get
less
ran
dangerous.
so you don't kind of get ran off the road.
Fact. So
that's real. So you say you went out there a group. Like how you feel about group traveling and or solo traveling? You took any solo travel trips before?
Oh, for sure. I honestly love solo traveling, but I prefer group traveling. Solo traveling is like, it's dope because you get to really sit with yourself. You get to learn about yourself. You can move however you want to move. So there's a certain level of freedom in it. But I prefer group travel with people that I know work with my travel style.
Right.
Because it's like, I can't travel with everybody. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm a hothead, but you know, I like certain things and certain stuff I don't. I like people who know how to represent themselves. So I don't want to move around with somebody who's like just uncontrollable. Like they'll do whatever. They'll risk our freedom or whatever at the drop of a hat without consulting everybody or whatever. You know, a certain respect level. Somebody who move by certain principles.
You know, people are just mannerism. People are real snooty and real, nasty with people.
Your character got to be right. Like,
right. Oh God.
Like I can respect somebody who's really, really genuinely them, and I know that because I always know how you're gonna move. And then I can be comfortable with it. Like, whether you like a hothead or you really bougie or whatever, as long as I know that from the beginning, I won't be surprised by nothing. But if I don't know how you move and I'm just like, let's go on a trip together. And then we get there and you like, oh, let's stay at the Ritz. And I'm like, nah, let's stay at the Marriott. That costs too much. Like, now we arguing and now it's already beef and then it rolls over. Everything bleeds through when you're on the trip.
And then if somebody doesn't have a good time, now that person is blaming you for for whatever reason they're not having fun. So no, I definitely feel you on that.
How you feel about the group trip versus solo?
I mean, I think group trip, I feel like everybody will feel like a group trip would be funner just because you got an experience to share with somebody. Cause me and you go take a trip somewhere. It's me, you, and a couple other homeboys. If something there's something super fun happens, or something funny happens, or something scary, dramatic, I can always kind of hit y'all up, or when we always meeting somewhere else or later in life, or we kind of man, you remember when you just kind of share that experience with somebody, so you don't feel so alone in a sense. So it's so when you're talking about, you're like, dang, nobody else is there,
for real.
So you kind of get that with the group, but at the same time, solo is also dope because, like you said, you get that, that self enlightenment and that, that self discovery.
And one more thing, when you with a group, you really become family when you're on vacation because it's something about being in a place you haven't been before where you don't know anybody and you're a tourist.
Right.
And even the name Drunk Tourist, it's not just all about getting drunk. Obviously, we like to have fun, but it's about that freedom that a drunk tourist feels when you're in a place you don't know nobody, you don't got to worry about judgment, and you can kind of take that
liquid
mask
courage
off. Exactly, you can kind of take that mask off and really be you. So when you traveling, it's a lot easier to if you're in the corporate world, and you in those corporate rooms, you gotta wear your corporate mask. If you a street dude and you in some street environments, you gotta wear that street mask. You know, you in the club, like wherever you doing, you gotta wear a specific type of mask. But when you traveling, you know, since you're not really trying to impress nobody, a lot of people take that mask off.
Right.
So when you
kinda
travel,
just float with whatever's kind of going on.
Yeah. So when you with somebody, and you know, you kind of have your mask off, they have their mask off, and you experience, you know, something like you said, where like, man, that was just a moment. Like, man, we saw these whales jump up in the ocean. That was crazy. It's like you can connect to that person on another level. Like, man, we really family now.
Right.
And it's not even super deep. It's just
no, that's a fact. And it kind of like you see like how people respond to like adversity and situations, because now you're talking in a language where you don't know nobody. Right. So now when somebody's having like a problem with a discrepancy with, you know, maybe it's currency, understanding how much I owe, or asking somebody for directions, or some type of, you know, I won't say beef, but some type of discrepancy with somebody over there because there's a language barrier or communication. Like you really get to see like how like people you with and yourself like respond to like new type of situations like that. And like you said, like when you're around each other, like, you know, you're helping each other, like, you know, grow and build like off of, you know, those type of situations.
Nah, facts. And that shit important, you know, because it's easy to like just assume everything will work out perfectly. You know, you can plan a trip all day, but it's always gonna be something that doesn't go as planned. And usually those turn into some of the best situations, but it be depending on the person. Like, you know, I know you, so we can pivot. You know, if we on a trip and our hotel that we booked doesn't have a room anymore, you know, for some people, that just ruined the whole trip. Now they stressed out, they don't know what to do. We just be like, all right, cool, just find another hotel. You know, the whole time we looking for a hotel, man, let's go grab a drink. We'll look at it at the bar, ask the bartender where we should stay. Right. You know, you can figure it out where it's like, it's not pressure. But a lot of people, it's always like black and white. Like it's no gray area. Like either it's good or it's bad. And really it's just how do you handle the situation.
That's definitely how you handle it. Cause it's annoying traveling with people like when things aren't going right, or, you know, cause you might show up to Airbnb and it may not look how everyone thought it was gonna look.
That's real.
So now you got you like, man, fuck it, we here. Like, let's just deal with it. And then you might have somebody who won't let it go, and they just holding on to that energy, and they just being negative about it, and they just carry that throughout the day or throughout the trip, and they just use every little moment for that. That kind of leads me to my next question. Let me ask you, like, what's a memorable time that you took a trip and you know, something like something like unknown, I won't say unknown, something unexpected happened, like a situation that you kind of had to like, you know, kind of figure out.
I remember I went to Paris with two of my partners. Went to Paris, and when we landed, it was like 6 a.m.
Right.
So, you know, you can't check into your hotel till like 12. No, I think it was like 3.
Yeah.
So we went and got breakfast. You know, sat around, walked around a little bit. Ended up in like the square, or whatever. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. So everybody mad, like, bro, what do you mean we can't check into? Cause we went to the hotel, they were like, y'all can't check in at 3. Like, we can't kick nobody out, and we don't have any rooms we can put you in now. So you just gotta wait until the check-in time. So, you know, obviously you gotta respect that. So we walking around and stuff, can't find anything to do. I think our phones was messed up or something, like couldn't get signal. So everybody kind of stressed out. So I was like, man, nah, everything works out. Cause that's like my go-to saying. Like, nah, it always works out. So my homies was mad because everybody kind of stressed out, and I'm just saying like, nah, it always works out. And they're like, bruh, we don't have nothing to do. It's 8 a.m. We got 5 hours to kill. I'm like, nah, it always works out. So they're like, one of my homies, he more of a planner, so he was more like the one who makes the plans, and we kind of just go with the flow or whatever. So he was like, it's all on him, kind of like to figure this out, and I'm just over here like, I don't care. Like,
he ain't looking at you like, man, you're not taking this serious.
Exactly. So he was like, you make a plan then. You make a plan. You make a decision. So I was like, all right, you know what? Cool. So I look around, see a group of white people walking, about 7, 8 people. Like, let's just follow them. So he like, this is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. You want to just follow a random?
I probably would have looked at you crazy too.
Both of them were like, bro, that's the dumbest. So I was like, all right then, don't ask me what to do. Like, that's what I'm saying we're gonna do. So he got so mad, he was like, we gonna do it. That's so stupid, we're gonna do it. I was like, all right, cool. So I grabbed my stuff, I just had my little book bag or whatever. Everybody grabbed their bags. We just started following these white people. So the whole time they turned around like,
Tell me why it was like a $5,000 private tour.
Damn.
We went all over Pier. We just followed them on the train. Everywhere they went, we just got on behind them.
Did they like look back at y'all?
They definitely thought we was trying to rob them. Like the whole time, they like, we just stayed right beside them. Like, how you doing? It was like, but that was one of the dopest experiences. Like the whole like 5 hours, we got like to see all the friends, like all the.
So by the time y'all check in, like y'all was like, we got a good little.
Bro, what? We would have never
start.
seen any of that. It was just Eiffel Tower. Like we saw, man. I'm talking. We went to dope little local cafes, everything. Like it was just, it was like we had a $5,000 tour. So it was like the loot, like we was running around the whole city. Like,
that's crazy.
Crazy. And it was just like, what was funny is like, they didn't want to admit that I was right for the longest till like 3 hours in. And they finally like, I gotta get to you. This hard. And I'm like, man, it always worked out. Right. But it, literally for me, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody. For me,
but I mean, you gotta carry that energy for it to be that though. Like,
Facts.
you know, you can't really be like, I'm gonna do the Yates and everything's gonna work out. But like,
it do though.
I mean, it do. But I'm saying,
do.
I mean,
do the Yates.
Yeah,
it work out.
It do work, but you can't like come at it like, oh yeah, Yates says it's gonna work out, but in your heart, you not really believing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
see, you
really gotta like, you really believe that everything's gonna work out. Like for it to work, like you can't just act like it. You really gotta believe. Like,
and that's from experience. Like, and a lot of that comes from solo traveling. So when I was traveling by myself, like one of the first places I went was it Korea or Colombia? I think one of the first was Korea. No, yeah, Korea. And I got lost, like super lost. Like actually every time I was
more lost than you actually were considerably lost.
Like no, like I got off on I gotta like, instead of getting a taxi, I got a bus to my hotel, and then I got off at the wrong stop, and I couldn't. It was like no more buses running.
Damn.
Or I didn't know which bus to get on, and nobody spoke English, so nobody could help me. So I was just walking around like lost like that. Like I don't know where, because usually. For me, once I get to my hotel, I can't really ever get lost again because I get a card from the concierge, and I can always just go to a taxi like, bro, just take me here, and you cool.
Circling on there. Like,
exactly. I didn't have anything, so it's just like, I'm trying to tell people like, I'm looking for the Marriott, and it was like, huh? I'm like, the Marriott, huh? And I'm like, trying to find on Google Translate, my phone not working. I think my phone was dead. Like, it's that kind of lost.
Right.
And I just remember being freaking out, and everything was going wrong. Long as I was just like freaking out my mind. And I remember I was just like sitting down. I went to like a little park and I just sat down. And I was like freaking out. Then for a second I just sat back, and it was like a beautiful park. You know, they crazy
shrines
when it comes to landscaping, like crazy.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I didn't even notice all of this beauty because I'm so in my head. So I just sat there for a while, and I was just like grateful. Like, man, you know, I'm an East Atlanta kid. I never thought I would be.
Lost in South Korea.
It's like, bro, all the stuff I done been through, I'm worried about being lost. I'm like, man, this is nothing. So I like relax, and I was just like, man, let me just go walk around and enjoy the city. So I'm walking around, meeting people. I went to like a local restaurant, amazing food. I couldn't even talk to him. I'm just pointing at stuff. One kid like came up to talk to me. He was practicing English, so we had like a good conversation. And then he ended up telling me because he could speak English. After like a 2-hour conversation, I forgot I'm looking for the hotel. I think he paid for my food too. He's like, man, thank you for letting me practice my English with you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, so where you going? I was like, I forgot, I'm lost. I'm looking for this hotel. He's like, what is it? I'm like, the Marriott. He's like, oh, I'll take you. Right. Takes me to the Marriott. So it's just like, after that, I was just like, it always works out.
By you just, you know, and you know, just falling into yourself and just enjoying yourself is like, which is like what led you to, you know, what you was really looking for the whole time.
That's my philosophy.
It's like some alchemist stuff, man.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's my philosophy. Like, it always works out. It don't matter how bad it looks. For me, it always works out. Right. So I just don't.
And like you said, for everybody, it will be like that. But you know, in your heart, you gotta really believe that things will work.
It's a mindset thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you create your reality, man. That's that law of attraction, that manifestation. Like if you say, man, this shit gonna be trash, and you walking around with that type of attitude, that's exactly what you attract.
Gonna be some trash.
Right. Motherfucker might come up and rob your
house. For sure.
Shit, like, so now we like dead ass lost in Madrid, and I know one thing I noticed about difference from Madrid and Barcelona was like, I mean, I don't know how factual this is, but my experience, like with the people I was dealing with in Madrid, like like we didn't see as many people who can speak English. So similar situation to you, like nobody speaking English, and we're trying to like, you know, how do you get over here? And you know, and some people are kind of like walking by and kind of
you trying to show a map, so you know they really
right. They
like
nah, you trying to sell me something or trying to read something. So they walking by and. You know, and that's kind of what you will get, you know, traveling. Sometimes you might meet people who kind of be like, you know, because, you know, they might have somewhere to be, you know, they might be busy or, you know, they may not feel like they know English well enough to help a tourist, so they may just pass by. So, you know, after like one person or two people, I was kind of like, man, fuck that. Like, I just got to figure it out myself. So, you know, and, you know, I just try to find a map and, you know, we kind of got someone on track and I ended up running to a police officer. And he kind of was speaking English in the beginning, and then you know he was kind of like going, and then after I kept asking in English, like it's like almost like he acted like he didn't know no more English. So he was kind of like looked at me, he was like, "Okay," and then I'm just like, I'm like, "Motherfucker, I know you know what I'm saying." Like you, like all of a sudden you just ran out of English.
That's how I be sometimes.
And it might be like,
that's how I be, bro. They be like, "Bro, that's it."
Yeah.
That's how many classes.
And then he started looking at me, and then I'm just like, "Dang." And like, and you know, like I said, my phone didn't work, so I really like just sat there and I was trying to and I really had to like dig into my mind and really just start thinking like a Spanish, like, and then like, you know, it really started coming out though, like it really like all the lessons I had, like I was really starting to come out with a little bit of Spanish. I'm asking them which way, like, you know, like how far down, you know, I know how to say like, you know, like, you know, left or right or first right, you know, like, you know, just like a little,
you
like
sitting there like,
they tried to tap in. And he was cool because he was patient. He was looking at me. I'm saying he's like, okay, like, and I could just tell like the way he was smiling, like I felt like he was really just trying to get me to practice or really trying to like help me like meet him halfway. You know what I'm saying? So and sometimes when you're traveling, you know, you want to know a little Spanglish or a little bit of blend of whatever it is that you're going. That way, like, you know, you at least know some base of the question. That way they can kind of understand the gist of where you're going. You know, like where or like, you know, like hotel or just simple things like, you know, like asking them like just something simple like, and then they might know like that word and you might know that word in that language. They be like, oh, okay, I'm guessing he's saying that they're trying to go this way.
And as far as that, a dope tip is now, you know, I don't think it was like this back then, but you can download Google Translate offline, so you can still be like, all right, how do I get to the hotel? You know, and it'll translate it in English, and then you can put it on speaker so they can hear it. But oh, okay, that's what I use now. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. You had to write it down, or you know,
because that's kind of what I did. Like when I went to Japan the first time, like I made like I had like use a translator for ask the main things that I feel like I should know, and I would just copy it and then paste it into my notes, and then I would just have in my notes like, where is this, how much is this, like, and then that way I can just pull up my notes in my phone and then just go and see it. And then I would even put like in parentheses and put like how I would see how to pronounce it, like I would spell it like in my mind how I remember to pronounce it, like you know. So that was kind of like my little old school trick or way of doing it. But you know the phone's not gonna work everywhere. You might start going to certain places. You might get into the mountains, or you might get to the off-beaten path. You know, to where
that happens.
You know where you really gotta kind of get away from the phone and really dig. That's why, you know, it's important to, you know, try to brush yourself over the crash course of you know, the language.
And most importantly, don't freak out. Because the worst thing you could do is freak out. Because once you freak out, all your focus is on freaking out. So you can't solve the problem. Whatever issue you're running into, if you freak out, you're just going to dive deeper into the problem. It's just like, man, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Now what's going to happen? Somebody going to rob me? Do they know? Instead of being like, all right, I'm lost. But where was the hotel by? Was it by a mall? All right, let me try saying this to somebody. Maybe they'll understand the mall. All right, wasn't maybe if I say this restaurant I wanted to go to that was nearby. And another thing I make sure I do is I Google Maps everything as far like when you get to the hotel, use the Wi-Fi. If you don't have T-Mobile, like you really should just have T-Mobile.
Or even just call Verizon before you go and then turn it on, and then when you get back, just call them and tell them to turn off the service. Like,
but if you don't. When you get to the hotel, use the Wi-Fi, do Google Maps, like here to there, you know, walking or driving or whatever, and just screenshot all of the.
That's what I would use. That's a good idea.
Because I do that on the train. Like every time I go to Tokyo, I might have to take the train for 20 stops and then change trains 2 stops. But I'll just screenshot them, and I'll be on the train, can't read anything. It's no English, but I'll just be counting the stops. All right, this stop number 19, this stop number 20. Let me get off of here. I'm getting on the green train, so let me look for the green. All right, there go the green. Let me get on there. I got 4 stops. All right, I'm gonna wait for a stop. All right, get off. Now when I'm getting on, all right, the purple train, I got 3 stops. And you do that, and then when you get off, you still don't know if you're right.
Nah.
But, you know, I have, like, where it walk from when I get out the trains. I'm like, apparently I walk out the front door, make a right, walk down 3 blocks, and I should be at this street. And it would be like a bunch of squigglies. I should be looking for the squiggly. I'm like, that look like this.
That look like,
I'll make this left and you be straight.
Funny.
But
nah, that's a fact. Or just try to find, like, you know, sometimes the maps may not have all the side streets,
right,
but they might have like that one main street name.
Yeah,
so you like I know when I went to Japan, I was all like, you know, all the names were like extremely long and stuff. Some of them.
Fact.
So I was like, all right, I know I'm getting off at Yuki something. So I was looking up. I see something that was like YUKI. I'm like, this gotta be it.
Gotta be it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, okay, this is it.
Fact.
You know, and then you get off and you like, okay, this shit end up
But
working out.
one thing I've noticed everywhere I've been, like all countries, if you get on the train, the people who work in the train station will always help you.
Yeah,
Especially if you got screenshots of where you need to go. They can always be like, because it's just like here, if you like, I'm going to Lennox Mall, you get on the train or something, I assume they'd be like, okay, stay on here for this long.
Right.
It's
Or they
the
can
same
just point,
anywhere.
you know, a lot of times, you know, most trains have like a picture,
Exactly.
a color, so they can just point like.
And they'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You be like, all right, I got 5 stops.
Right,
all kind of stuff like
Right.
that. So.
Nah, for sure. But that, like you said, man, you can't freak out. You definitely can't, because, like, you know, once you, like you said, once
Have
you
you
start.
ever freaked out?
I don't think so. Like, I think that situation right there, one time I was kind of like, you know, I was kind
Have
of.
you been anywhere with somebody else who freaked out?
Nah, because everywhere I've gone, like, I'm always like the navigator.
Gotcha.
So like,
Oh, you're the guy.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
what's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Every group has people who
Right.
do certain things. So like, I've noticed that it don't matter if it's girls or guys or whatever. Because you know, like you'll be traveling, you'll run into a group of girls. It'd be the same setup. Like you gotta have a navigator or a planner. It's always a free spirited one or the freak. And then it's always
the culturally sound one,
Right.
you know, who might know a little bit of language or know like
the
kind of
quiet one. Like it don't matter what side of the group you have. All of these. Some people will be multiple. Like they could be the quiet navigator, or they could be like the quiet freak or whatever. Like, but you always gonna have those in there. And if you,
That's a good question. We're gonna start asking everybody, which traveler in the group are you? Are you the navigator? Are you the one that's kind of like, man, I ain't trying to figure nothing out. I'd rather just sit with somebody who kind of know all this, or are you like the person who's kind of like, you know, like the culturally sound one, where you kind of know like, oh yeah, I know that in this country they do this and this, or this is how you say this, and you kind of like almost like the teacher of the culture.
put you down,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
And what's crazy, once you notice that, like once you really understand
You like, oh,
it,
that's your ass.
but you don't got to say it. And
Yeah,
then
I know.
You can know who can match up. Like if you traveling, let's say we go to pick a country.
Right. Thailand.
All right, we go to Thailand and we meet. Let's say Africa. Pick a spot in Africa.
Okay. Nigeria.
All right, we go to Nigeria. I don't know why. I just wanted to say Africa. So let's say we go to Nigeria and we run down on some Nigerian girls. It's you, me, and let's say 2 more of our homies. You the navigator. You more like I know you. So you more focused. Like I want like orderly.
Right.
I'm more like free spirited. Like go with the flow. So like once if we see a group of girls, like this is how my head think at least.
Right.
And we talking like, hey, how you doing? You know, nice to meet you. We just came from America. We trying to look for something to do. Whichever girl start talking the loudest right there, I'm like, that's the free one. I already know it in my head, so it's like, all right, this gonna be the one that makes sure they all come with us. We're like, nah, y'all, this gonna be fun. Woo-woo. So even if I want to talk to this one, I gotta talk to her first to make sure that the whole group is with it.
Because she may not be the one that's really as adventurous to really want to
But
take
the
that
adventurous
chance.
one is really the one who makes the decisions. But the person who like solidifies the decisions is the orderly one. They the one who like, we don't know these dudes. This is but you gotta get the adventurous one so excited about the possibility of whatever y'all about to do that she can convince the other one. And that's why you need the I'll be like, hey, tell he was talking about here, he said y'all do this. Is that true? That person, the like orderly one, they always excited to kind of be a teacher or whatever. So they're like, oh, actually we do it. Now y'all having a good convo on that. Now, and you can always swap later, but it's like first you gotta get everybody to mess with the group. You gotta figure out which one the quiet one. Whoever else there, you gotta be like, hey. Sometimes the quiet one be like the baddest one. Sometimes it be the ugliest one. It don't matter.
And you might have that one that's kind of like the, might be kind of the newer one on the trip, more like Nah, that's a fact because
they might not even be on the trip. They could be locals.
Right? No,
it's it's just a group of friends. It's
true,
weird, but it's always there.
Nah, that's a fact because if you think about like even when you go to the club and stuff, and you know what I mean, like. Because it's like when you're a group, you got more minds to please. So everybody for everybody to be down, because no one's gonna just lead a homegirl or just lead a partner. So
you gotta get the whole group.
So everybody got to be on the chorus. So like you said, if you touch base with kind of what and that niche for what everybody got, then everybody's like, well, I'm down.
Man, look, once you understand this, it's up.
The world
I'm trying to
yours.
tell people, man.
I'm
like
putting you down.
When I be saying like, look, bro, like. We always hang with locals. Like I always find a group of locals that show me around whoever I'm with. Like we always link with locals, and people like how like you just like a great like I think I'm a conversationalist, but outside of that, I understand like human behavior and matching people up with like what makes them comfortable until they're comfortable with me. Because I might not work with everybody right off the bat. Like they might be like, I feel kind of sketchy about how comfortable you are talking to me. You from somewhere else, like this kind of weird. Whereas somebody who more laid back, like if you more laid back, like and want to speak on the culture, and I'm like, well, talk to my homie. He was saying, he was talking about bride price, and he can you tell us a little more? Because you said Nigeria. Tell us a little more about bride price. They'll be excited to be like, well, actually, it's a traditional. Now that they're open to the conversation, you talking to the free spirit one, like, man, what's the crazy shit to do over here, man? Y'all got some lounge, it's any bars or whatever. They're like, man, we can go right now. What y'all talking? Now once you get her to be like, y'all, let's go. That other one who was just talking to you, she comfortable now. So the one who really make the final decision, like, the mom of the group. She's like, all right, let's go. And then it's up. Right. And then you gotta have model back in the room.
That's
man.
Funny. They definitely have those.
Man, it's all.
I'm definitely looking to travel with. That's why I'm ready to travel with you, cause I know that you more like you gonna be more so another person to break ice with. Like I feel like every time I travel, like I'm the type of person where I'm social, but I don't always want to be the icebreaker. Yeah. So sometimes like I can be friendly and I can be open, but I may not be that person who always wants to initiate a conversation.
That's right.
So I end up just passing up on a lot of potential opportunities to just experience just because I'm like, like I don't even feel like bothering nobody, like, because I just, or like on the sense I'll be looking for a navigator because I'm always the one who's like trying to keep order.
I'm not a navigator.
So
I know that.
Yeah.
Like, don't stress me to get us back home.
Yeah, I'm very particular and I'm very like
structured.
OCD when it comes to that. So I'm like, hey, man, fuck all that. We going straight to the room. We're not doing no side mission shit.
Man, come on,
like,
man.
Nah,
we gotta
fuck
get
that. We gonna get to that. Let's get here first. And then I feel like for me, it's not even more so like me wanting to tell everybody what to do because it's what I want to do. I just know me as knowing myself, I'm not going to be comfortable until I feel like I get to this space that like I'm.
You
gotta
find your safe space first.
Once I get there, like because some people, man, they like how you said like the right when you touch down, like you on the go type stuff until you get to the room. Sometimes like I've done that before in Paris, like you said, it was kind of like my Paris trip was kind of like similar to that because as soon as we touched down, we didn't like follow nobody, but like the same situation, the late check-in. So I'm like, man, fuck that. Like, they don't check in. Like, there ain't no point of just waiting around crying that we can't check in. Like, man, we hit like Notre Dame, like Champs, Elysia, how you say it, but that street, with the arch and everything, like the Eiffel Tower. We hit all that. Yeah, we hit all that by noon, like just because we were just But times like that, I'm cool. But sometimes also I'm like.
I always like to go straight to the hotel.
Yeah, because you got all the stuff.
I want to put my stuff down.
Yeah, and you will walk in lick. Like,
no, for sure.
I always travel with my camera because that's one of the main things I want to do when I travel is to shoot and stuff. So it's like I'm trying to put my stuff up, and I might have like some nicer stuff that I might want to pull out, you know, we find the area that permits for you to kind of, you know, step up the
Put that
swag
shit
on you, right? I might have to put the drip on, you know, so I be trying to get there. I ain't trying to walk around like I got the Disney hat on and shit.
So you're a tourist. Nah,
camera around the neck, like,
nah, for sure.
That's him.
I need all of that.
Right.
Nah, for sure. I get that. And it's just like being prepared.
Nah, that's, oh God, for sure.